Hello, everyone, and welcome to Symphony Banda Podcast. My name is Shirley Corman, and I'm a host of this podcast. In each episode, you will hear from the seriously smart and interesting symphonians about their projects, successes, and of course, challenges on their way. Today, we have a true powerhouse joining us, our amazing Chief Operating Officer, Kseniya Kobryn. Hello, Kseniya. Nice to see you here on our podcast.
Hello, my pleasure as well. Actually, I was participating in podcasts not so many times yet, and at this one, brand new for the first time. It's a great honor for me and pleasure, and I have no idea what will be going on here. Looking forward, and I'm staying curious here.
Yes, trust me, you won't be bored, and as well as our participants using their headphones and staying all ears to hear the exciting stories from you. But let me just make it the long story short, yes, and make a short promo about our today's special guest. Kseniya has been rocking the role of CEO for quite some time now. And let me tell you, she's a force to be reckoned with. Just trust me. Imagine managing our company through roller coaster ride of COVID, a crazy market, and even a war. What we can wait to dig deep and find out how Ksenia does it all. What's Ksenia's secret sauce like? Really, what's like the superpower of her? How does she manage to lead us to success no matter what's thrown our way? We are about to uncover the inspiring story behind Ksenia's leadership. So grab your headphones, sit back, and get ready to be inspired by Ksenia. So, Ksenia, as you have mentioned, you are also very curious. So don't let's not waste our time and just proceed straight to our first question, what I have prepared for you. And it will be also a short intro about your prehistory of being CEO. But because before taking a role of CEO, you have been an integral part of Symphony for over 3 years. So, can you share with us what was your positions and what was your responsibilities you had prior becoming a CEO?
Yeah, I was even actually 4 years with Symphony before taking this new role. I joined it as an agile coach. At this time, it was a need to help one promising big account with processes and agile transformation. And I was, as a side job, working in Lviv IT school as a teacher, as a lecturer, delivering classes about Scrum and Agile. And I was always very connected to my students. And one of our classes, my classes student, invited me once to meet CEO of his company because he desperately needed some advice and consultancy on some processes, agile transformation related questions. And of course, being always close to my students, I was not capable to deny. And I accepted the invitation, having no idea that it will be kind of interview hunting, anything related to it.
This is
We were
getting
supposed
interesting.
to meet, we were supposed to spend together with founder owner of the company, as I was said, about 40 minutes because he was very busy and had tough schedule. So did I as well. So we were talking more than 3 hours.
Okay.
And I was
Slightly,
kind of
40 minutes slightly
literally,
came into 3 hours. Okay.
yeah. And I was at the end almost literally kind of running away because my husband was already calling me 10 times because he had to pick me up. Then we had to pick up our kids. and somehow we were unable to finish our conversation with Theo.
Okay.
And we were so much in a flow and so much talking similar and understanding. So it started with this project, and then it ended with general perception of organizing and structuring and designing a company and leading, and that we don't need a PMO. I remember that he was surprised that he hasn't met so many people in the past who think same.
So you were pretty on the same page.
Yes, we were really on the flow, and it was super organic, somehow natural, even suspicious to some extent.
Okay.
That after I left, I was thinking, okay, maybe it was everything kind of upfront prepared and played, and it can't be so smooth. But Theo finally was okay asked to finish, but instead of goodbye, he said, "I will not give up. We will meet again."
Okay.
And that's how we finished our first conversation.
That's pretty impressive. It's like maybe there is some other idiom in business terminology, but in real life, we are saying like life from the first view. Maybe there is kind of idiom for the business side as well. There was a connection from the first meeting for you both. So let me take it as yes, general, because you are 7 years in Symphony. Let me take it as yes.
Yes.
Okay, that was pretty insightful, I would say, because I haven't known about it. And I think, it was a pretty interesting and funny story, but that's not the end. It's not only beginning. Because as we have mentioned, it was some connection from the first you, and then you have become a CEO. And as far as I know, in the first months of being in the role of CEO, you have faced a global game changer, a COVID-19. How did you ensure the company's continued success?
Well, first of all, let's go back a little bit to kind of prior days and what was before. So at some moment, beginning of 2020, I had a conversation with Theo when he suggested me to think about this. And my initial response was no, like, no way, I don't want extra accountability, responsibility, sleepless nights. No. I'm happy with my job. I like coaching, leading, and so on. And then he said, okay, take some time and think about this. And I went for vacation into a nice island, was well rested, pretty inspired. And then when I was back, I said, okay, I am open to consider, but I need to study. I need to make some IBM or some, serious course. And then he said, you will get a very strong mentor, and he will be leading you in all questions and areas and topics that you are doubting about. And then when you feel you are ready, you will potentially step into the role. And yes, I was, of course, planning, assuming, making a lot of roadmaps, milestones, how I would start, what I would reconsider, where I would restructure.
The whole story and the whole plan.
Yeah. I was preparing very seriously, and I took it super seriously in a matter of preparation and in a matter of responsibility and accountability. And I, of course, knew the company from inside, working here already for more than 4 years, but from a little bit different perspective and in other roles. And then, guess what? I was officially promoted. I was officially promoted on 25th of February, and 3 weeks, almost 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks later, everything was closed, like people at home, no offices, no old company that I was used to work in anymore. All my plans, nice structures, steps, roadmaps, milestones went into their nice trash bin. And the most kind of unexpected and challenging thing was that you can't learn from anybody. You can't read somewhere in the case study or in the book.
Exactly.
Like all were same. Super experienced COOs and less experienced as I was myself at this time. We were all facing same trouble, and we were just inventing practices on a fly, and that's their place where my previous jobs, especially related to transformations, helped me a lot, because I was used to work with changing companies, with adjusting, adapting, improving processes, fine-tuning tools. And here I had to do it quickly in a very high level and sense of urgency.
Also under
with no real plan. Yeah, under pressure, under a lot of stress, not coming from myself, but from people who are uncertain, who are scared, who are in this zone of not knowing what will happen tomorrow, if their job is secured, if company will proceed and move on. That was, and if I may, beyond business, it's like I was used to work from the office. I was used to have my kids at school or kindergarten. I was used to have somebody who is helping me from time to time at home with some cleaning or all the other related things. And here suddenly you get the big company that is fully different. It's like
no
not
plan.
that company that
no instructions.
that you were planning. That you were planning to lead. You get kind of white piece of paper and have to start practically from scratch. And on top of this, at home, kids are not at school, at home all the time. You have to do everything, like cooking, cleaning, all this kind of stuff yourself. And then survive. But as
and
you can see,
go crazy with all this pressure on this ongoing things, changes in the world, in the life, in business. So I can remember that people have no idea how to live their lives and how to rule the big company. It's like a tons of pressure and a tons of questions that there is no options to find somewhere an answer somewhere in the books, but find it out by trying some scenarios. I think your experience, without your experience, we don't know where we are going to be. It played, I think, a crucial role. I think you feel it as well.
Of course, I was not alone. Tao was taking accountability for the most serious and biggest decisions, especially for the most painful news and communications. Also, my mentor was supporting me a lot, of course, but the difference is that he was not really able to share some experience or knowledge. He was himself experimenting.
Definitely, that's worth the story, I would say. I was just about continuing the discussion of transformations that were caused by these big changes. Yes, and now the next question will be also related to some transformation, especially speaking about the culture of the company. And currently, you're leading Symphony through a complete virtual transformation because of all this pandemics, global crisis, and the war. And this transformation and changes are really remarkable. So how do you manage it? What values and principles guide your leadership during these transformations?
Well, I think, we need to be careful liking something too much. I was always enjoying helping companies going through transformations as a consultant, as a coach. And then when I took a role of leading a company, I started facing so many of them, one after other. Like one was going global and becoming virtual company and working remote. Then we had to reduce one of our biggest projects. Then, unfortunately, this terrible war, Russian aggression in Ukraine started. Now we are facing AI challenge that will require another level of transformation. So, the content is always changing and is different, but the essence still stays the same. First of all, when change is coming, it's important to follow a set of practical steps. And for me, they are following, like assess what you have, what is going on, kind of check, audit, then educate, guide people what we are doing, how we are calling different things, what the terminology we are using, how we are communicating, like make some training program, and then implement. And this period of time between those steps should be not too long. It should be, action should be taken quickly, because transformation usually is caused by some sense of urgency. There is some strong need, and you can't plan everything perfectly and accurate and precisely and consider all the risks. You need to be equipped to some certain extent. I love to call it good enough, and move on. Because if you procrastinate too long and wait out to have it all validated, checked, perfect, then the sense of urgency is just destroying you. And important is to have, of course, guiding coalition, people who are kind of core team of processing any type of transformation. And whenever what change you are providing, there are always people, not so many of them, who are fully enthusiastically supporting, taking initiative, raising hand of help, or proposing suggestions. There is always small group of sabotagers, haters, like everything shit, whatever what you do, all sucks. We just have to accept it. And usually the biggest group of people is not so much sticking to this or that opinion, just they follow the trend and the flow and the majority. And slowly, like bit by bit, kind of become also adepts or criticize. And the most challenging thing for me in the first wave of transformation during COVID time was to learn. And you might be surprised right now what I will say, but it's pretty serious. And that's what I'm using often until now, and even explain to some other leaders in our team. Is to learn. Is to learn to be hated for nothing whenever what you do. And I learned this strongly from also my mentor at the time, when we had to reduce overhead teams. And not only, any option that you would take is painful. You are making like unpleasant job, and you bring bad news. And I was thinking multiple options. And then I was saying, look, if I will go this way, then I will do a little bit better for this group of people, but then I will definitely care less about company interest and put this part of people under risk. If I will go this way, then this and that. And then he told me, forget your options. You can come up with option number 8, 7, 9, 10. Whenever what you do, you need to learn to be ready, to be hated right now.
Yes.
And I was like, no.
There will always be a chance not to be to choose something and not to be hated. Yeah, that's the life lesson.
And that was super unexpected to me, because I was thinking, yeah, this is more kind of soft and might be less painful. He said, doesn't matter. Just out of your role, out of your job, whenever what you do, worse, better, just accept it. And it took me a while to accept this fact. And I know that there are many people in our organization and also beyond our company that I have very good, trustful relationship that I can rely on, that I'm pretty sure they love me. But I'm also very cautious that there are moments, there are cases, there are people, there are scenarios where, due to things that I am changing, breaking, implementing, executing, I might deserve or not deserve, but be hated.
Yes, but it's a pretty cool tool to stay up to date with your emotions, that in case you're aware of this coming, it will not affect you so much. So, and you are on a pretty high position, yes, and always sometimes you have really to make a tough decisions, and it's not always very good or preferable for all people, and you should accept that there might be some negative feedbacks, and it's okay. It's also you can apply it for some life situations, because you're not a dollar that everyone has to like you, okay, and all not your decisions has to be approved by everyone. So I think it's a pretty cool tool to use during the work, and also for your mental health as well. It does not affect you so much. So listening to your experience and all the tools you acquire using, going through all this transformation is pretty cool. I think you have a big and heavy back of experience behind you that's very impacts you and general.
Yeah, with regards to experience, let me also kind of reflect here quickly, and that's what we are also often talking about with Stella. My belief is that the more you know, the more you don't know. And the more experience and cases you face, the better you understand that there are so many areas that you never touched and even don't want to touch. That's one thing. And another thing is that I strongly believe in. It's also related to transformation, and I'm also very often guiding it with this fact myself while considering some important appointments for accounts, or promoting people, or some impactful decisions. I strongly believe in synchronicity. If the galaxy and signs around are supporting it, then I just quickly move on. If I get, because I'm pretty confident that we can't understand all the dependencies and all what is happening around us clearly with our mind.
Definitely.
There is also something invisible, important, not stronger, but heavy behind. And I'm trying to do things in a flow. And very often I kind of feel it, literally feel it
Not
start
always the
thinking, I get
brains
a message.
process the information, but your body and some kind of feeling of yours in your body process information from outside somehow. But
no, it's not only body or intuition. It's just independent, different things happening around. It's like there is an account popping up, and they need a manager there. Then I'm considering somebody who might be a good manager there, but I'm not so sure. Then one day later, the manager of this manager is texting me like, "Oh, she's interested and she has capacity to onboard a new account," without having no idea what is in my mind. And this is like this chess game, very often in the night when everyone is already asleep and there is darkness and silence in the room. Then I look up, switch on this virtual chessboard and start like
playing it.
combining different scenarios, options, and then wait, which of them will be most probably the one that will be implemented, and wait for some emails, calls, signs that are supporting it. And usually if it's the right one, the galaxy is giving you like 1, 2, 3, like 3 small signals that correct, go on there. And I'm very quick in making decisions because if you put yourself in this doubt and double checking and triple checking, it's like I think it is like this. I understand it might have some space for correction, mistake. I know it's not perfect, but it's like, close your eyes and jump. Go.
Yes, this moment of decision making should be
Click
like
on
just
this
quick.
send button.
The more you think, the more you will hesitate, and the more you will procrastinate to make this decision.
Although there are often situations where I love to practice art of pause, I call it. It's like people are like, there is some situation and one person is texting me about this and another person and then third person, and they are all in this sense of tension and conflict and want me to take somebody's side and protect or judge. And then I'm thinking, okay, let me take some pause and let's see how this will evolve. And then you see, 2 days later, everything resolved, conflict solved, not actual anymore. My energy and resources saved, and art of pause worked. So there are cases where you definitely need to slow down. But in most of cases, people want quick guidance and decisions. And my philosophy is not to block anybody with need for this. And don't be impediment unless it's really the case where I'm doubting, I need some time, more data, more evidence. Objective.
I think it's something that you also get with experience, where you can use this art of pause, to let the flow do their things, and where you have to think quickly and be rapid with your decisions. It's something that comes with experience, I would say, definitely.
Yeah, but when you're talking about this, I even think there is a trend already, at least in my system of deciding. If there is a lot of noise and there is a kind of high temperature and high level of tension and too much attention, then most probably I will take a pause. If there is something that is stuck and not moving, then you need to boost, to speed up, and to make a quick decision and instruct everyone what to do and guide and kick, push, double check. Even I was not thinking about this in the past, but you just kind of brought me to this idea that if there is too fast, slow it down. If there is moving slow, speed it up. That's not black and white, not binary system, but for majority of cases, I think could be like this.
No, cool. We kind of made up some kind of rule where to apply what kind of force, so to make some right decisions or not to make them even. Okay. And on the summary, I would like to ask you some personal questions. Yes, because we have to spoke about transformation of the company, transformation of the culture. And I was wondering, with all these changes around, yes, have you personally experienced a transformation? And how has it affected your work-life balance?
Yeah, of course, I went through multiple rounds of transformation, and some of them are already behind. Many are still up front, I believe, whenever what we do. Important thing is that there are some values and foundation out of what whenever what is the wave of change, what is coming out of this foundations you are moving on. So for me, it's unacceptable to kind of cheat system, abuse system, not to focus on like, tunnel thinker. Here is an email, here is a request, here is a data. You move on based on what you know. Yeah, I always try to keep in mind people aspect and context around each situation and sensitivity. And my superpower and big disadvantage is that I know many people in the company in person because I'm working here 7 years, and I love to be among people. Even I know many newcomers, cooperating, talking. Of course, I went through multiple rounds of transformation myself, facing different situations. But what definitely always helps me, one thing is, whenever what happens, stick to who you are, what is your inner voice, inner foundation and set of values. And second thing, be super ultra extra disciplined, because I believe that only the fact that I'm very systematic person is helping me to survive. Not survive like dying, but survive. I at least feel being energetic, loving my life, loving my job. Only because I'm not a last moment person. I never procrastinate anything to the last day, last night, last moment. And also because if I'm doing something, I am doing it long term and as a system, like sport, like learning, like working, making things on time. I think like 95%. Yeah, that would be my kind of set of elements. I can't allow myself, to chill all the time and to expect that everything happens. That's not my philosophy. And of course, also what is very much empowering me and making me accountable at the same time, it's responsibility of being a leader.
Yes,
because
definitely.
It's not just a matter of title. For me, it's a responsibility. I clearly understand that people in the company are looking at me, and I'm giving sense of vibe, how company is doing. Are we feeling strong? Are we feeling energetic? Are we ready to roll up sleeves and accept challenges and convert risks into opportunities? Also, many younger ladies and gentlemen who want to grow to my role, they might consider it as some analogy or similar path for them potentially. And I think it's important to lead by example. And I'm taking it very serious as honored responsibility and accountability. That's why my belief is that I have no chance to, to be weak or not knowing what to do, because many people rely on me.
Yes, as I have
That's so
mentioned
simple.
on the beginning, yes, you are definitely a force to be reckoned with. Yeah, you are like a model to follow with a mindset, with some some experience, some practice things to share, practice knowledge. So it's like I would say a lot of people, and today we have pretty much insights during our conversation, yes, and pretty cool things you shared about how to staying up to date with all the transformation coming. Yes, not to procrastinate, but firstly to see what is happening, stay up to date. It's some kind of cool advices that we can implement on the real life, not only at work, yes, and not only this insight we catch during our conversation. And yes, so I would say it was pretty insightful and very interesting. That's why I would like to thank you very much for
I
this.
hope so. I'm not pretending for having some, special wisdom. I believe everyone can be COO or CEO. It's not a matter of big deal. It's just a matter of systematically work, follow your path, your dream, if it is something like this. And at the end, we are all same human beings, and we were not born uh, having some specific roles. Those roles are acquainted through life due to some extensive work and skills and gathered uh, knowledge and experience and some kind of braveness to try.
Definitely. But yes, I agree fully with you on this point because, if you are inspired and if you are passionate about what you're doing, it will just come from you and not you will not have to make it out or to think how to speak it, how to serve it. It just goes from you because it's something that you like, something that drives you, I would say also. And this conversation was actually something that really describes you and something that drives you and comes from your heart, from yourself. And thank you very much for this insightful and very interesting conversation today, Kseniya. It was a pleasure and honor to have you today here. And thank you very much. Hope you and our listeners have enjoyed it as well.
Yes, thanks for inviting me. Looking forward for new meetings, next Banda participants, and
Yes,
thanks for driving this initiative.
sure.
Bye.
Always welcome. Glad to see it. Stay tuned, guys.